session, and Mr. Nabil, who was with us also last year.
Yeah.
And we have the pleasure to have him with us today as well. He was supposed to be also with us on Friday. Unfortunately, due to some logistical and technical issues, he's not going to be with us, but we are happy that he is with us here today. So just like some housekeeping about how we are going to run this roundtable. It's going to be horizontally interactive. We have about two main parts in this roundtable. First part, we're going to talk about the theme of the dilemma of AI use and ethics and integrity. And then the second part, we're going to talk about the role of the Big South, not as participants, but as a contributor in shaping AI and LLM in general. What role can we as a Big South play in the knowledge production of these models? And within those two parts, we have interactive sessions in the sense that sometimes the audience are going to be throwing questions to the panelists, and sometimes it's myself, and sometimes we leave it open for open discussion. However, whoever is going to be talking is not allowed to speak more than 1 minute. Okay? In order to give the chance to as many of you as possible. I'm sure you're almost all of you are teachers and you're all aware of the TTT theory, no? Teacher talking time. So we are not supposed to be talking a lot, so we give the floor to you to speak. So the first thing I'm going to do, briefly I'm going to give the floor to the speakers to introduce themselves. You already know almost all of them, and those who don't know, we are going to know them during their interactive sessions or an independent session. So I'm going to start with Nabil. Please introduce yourself, and then Dr. Baina, and then Professor Zohri, and then Professor Shyam. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone. Thanks Professor thanks Madam Professor Baina, everybody who has participated in making this event and this opportunity for us to exchange. I am Nabil Mahyaoui. I am an engineer. I lead AI initiatives over different subsidiaries of OCP Group. I work for OCP Solutions, and I help build analytics data and AI. I'm also the founder of Pratico, a startup which builds education tech solutions based on AI and embedded systems. And I am very glad to be here among you today.
Thank you very much, Nabil, and then Professor Baina.
Thank you very much, Professor Badr. Thank you very much again, Professor Karim. I am Karim Baina, Professor at INSET.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Abdelaziz. I'm a professor of technology and English at University, and a co-founder of Africa Wisdom Dialogue, an NGO that provides education. And I want to say that I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Professor Abdelaziz and Professor Badr. It's an honor because I studied in this faculty. I got my, we call it MA now, we used to call it DESA, in 2002 here. And I got my PhD for doctoral degree in education sciences in 2013. Glad to be here.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm a professor of grading and lettering, and my interest within
writing and rhetoric are aligned with cross-cultural rhetoric, epistemology, and technology, and the intersection of those three.
Thank you very much, Professor Sharma, and once again, thank you very much and welcome to all the panelists. So, the first part of the, as I said, is going to look at the dilemmas, and I'm going to start with the audience. They are going to throw some very hot boiling questions to our panelists. So I'll start with Mohammed, Adam, Iman, Basma. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Mohammed Barra. I'm really happy to be here. It's been an exciting couple of days. I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well. This is directed to Professor Zohri, but I think it's also for the entire panel. Ethical norms evolve with our understanding of the world. It's not a fixed domain, right? And AI is accelerating the knowledge, the production. So how do we balance the risk of harm with the moral imperative to explore and innovate? Let me rephrase that. If there is a point where we are being overly cautious in deploying AI because we're trying to be ethical, are we not being unethical by inadvertently slowing down the speed of research that we could otherwise attain? Right? And sort of related to that, it's now that we are starting to get into co-production of knowledge with artificial intelligence, that our understanding of the world is mitigated by artificial intelligence, who is now setting the moral compass? If our understanding of the world is not only ours, but is also that of this artificial intelligence we created, the normal we entirely understand, is the moral compass us or that of the system we're building?
Us or what? Or
is it ours or that of the systems we built?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very, very question.
Bonjour, je suis très heureux de participer. Bonjour, je suis très heureux de participer à le printemps. D'abord, je vous remercie, Madame Yamila El-Khera et Monsieur Al-Islam. C'est très intéressant pour nous. Mes questions sont les suivantes. Dans vos travaux sur les cadres éthiques de l'IA, comment intégrez-vous les approches issues des sciences humaines et sociales sans les subordonner à une logique purement technologique? Pensez-vous que les cadres éthiques actuels, ceux proposés par l'UNESCO, sont suffisamment ancrés dans des contextes sociaux et culturels du Sud global, notamment dans des pays comme le Maroc? Quel rôle les jeunes chercheurs en sciences humaines et sociales peuvent-ils jouer dans la conception d'une IA responsable? Et comment dépasser le simple rôle de critique pour devenir co-concepteur? Et merci également.
Thank you very much. And ask Iman now. And this one.
Thank you everybody and thank you Professor Badr for having me here today. My question goes particularly to Professor Sharma and hello Professor, I'm here. It goes particularly to Professor Sharma and generally to all the professors in the panel. And I think there is a tendency, this is my second year now, I've been to many sort of internships or trainings on AI, and there's always this sense of the doctoral student as the stealer of knowledge. And the faculty, not the faculty, the universities and centers, they really tries to catch the doctoral student. But we've forgotten an important aspect of AI use, and that is how do I protect myself? That is to say, does AI and can AI steal my ideas? If so, how does it do it? If I write something and I put it through GPT-0, is it stealing my work? If I put it through Grammarly, is it stealing my work? If I put it in ChatGPT, is it stealing my work? And if so, how can I stop that from happening? How can
at the Urban Agency, and my question will be in regards to AI ethics and migration. So my question is, what kind of ethical frameworks should guide the use of AI in urban planning policies? Like we have frameworks, ethical frameworks in a lot of domain, but sometimes we forget that we need some type of framework, ethical framework of AI, so we do not exacerbate the inequalities, spatial inequalities and vulnerable communities in regards to urban planning.
Thank you very much, Esma. This is the first round. I'm going to get the names of the second round, of course. I'm going to give 5 minutes to each of the panelists to address the specific questions that were asked to them. So I'll start with the
translate the question in French to English or
I did.
Okay. I think that you can hear us. I would like to address, Emma, thank you very much for this very, very important question. And I will first refer you to a book by Ted Marks. He talks about, I may not remember the title of the book, but I'll share it with you later. So Ted Marks believes that a lot of the things that we say about AI today are distractions. That is to say, a lot of worries we have about AI, that it is going to, probably cause a lot of risks of dangerous problems, or it's going to take over all humans and so on and so forth, are distractions. And I agree with it, at least partially. And these distractions may hinder an important innovation that our world might have already started. The other thing I want to say is that we need to know that AI is here to stay. It's here to stay. So you just take the ride, or you're going to be left behind. When it comes to the dilemma around integrity or ethics and AI, I think that the most important sentence I've ever read in the literature is we can relinquish control, but we should not uphold, or we should uphold responsibility. This is very important. We relinquish control, but we uphold responsibility. And I want to say something around that related to the question that Professor Badr asked this morning around integrity and ethics. Unless you're going to ask this question again. The answer about ethics and integrity very quickly is that ethics is a global system of values, while integrity it's related to how a researcher, an individual researcher, or a group of researchers, or an organization that is related to research, conducts itself towards the trustworthiness that is given by the public, or why? Because the public invests. Yes, because the public invests in research. You're going to ask me a question: what does the public invest in research? This is a very important question. The public invests trust and credibility in research, and the researcher should be aware of it. If you are a researcher, you have this responsibility towards the whole community or the global world, that you need to, or you have to uphold a set of principles and practices. I'm not sure if I can give some details very quickly, but one more idea, and probably I'll stop here. So I said that it's the ecosystem who is responsible for navigating this challenge. Yes, it's the ecosystem. When I say the ecosystem, why the ecosystem? Because integrity is a multi-layered issue. We cannot talk about integrity only to address what students or professors do as malpractices or misconduct when it comes to research. It's the responsibility everyone in the ecosystem. If the ecosystem works together towards upholding these responsibilities, we're going to reach the goal we want, that is to say, upholding integrity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Zohri. I'm going to go back to Mahyaoui. Do you have any follow-up or interaction with the answer you just got?
No, I don't.
Satisfactory? Great, thank you. Now I'm going to move to Professor Baina since you got the second question. Please, the floor is yours, Baina. You have about 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. So the question was about how to frame ethic frameworks on local context, isn't it? Yes. I remember that Barack Obama has used artificial intelligence to well target voters in its political campaign. And the French President Hollande has invited the same data scientist team to do the same job in France. And it was like a flop. Nonsense. Because it's not just, AI is not just a matter of data, algorithms, technical pipelines, dashboards, decisions. AI is about cultural aspects of citizens who are expressing their opinions on social networks. Satirism in France is not the same satirism in the United States. Taboo in France, politically correct expression in France, the yes that means no in France is not the same yes or no in United States. So algorithms were failing on France and French data, and so we cannot import ethical frameworks or algorithms from outside countries and just plug and play. Okay? Morocco has declared that we have adopted as a government the UNESCO ethical AI framework, but I'm not sure that it's sufficient. We need to instantiate it. We have cultural specificities. We cannot using, for example, recognition of phenomena from satellite imaging processing. Algorithms coming from United States cannot detect, for example, something called musim. What is a musim? In Sharma or in El-Jadida, it's concept, local concept. And satellites can take something, but it will not be able to identify.
It's an accident or
Yes. So, okay, there are something that can be universal, like hooliganism in some stadium. But fantasia, we do not have fantasia in United States. We do not have Muslim in United States. So we have something very local. Look at, for example, our behavior using phones. Before, when calls were very expensive, people used their phone just to ping each other. Beep. I ping you, you ping me. This is very local. We have other cultural, financial aspects, like that. En français, we say la tontine. I don't know how to translate.
It's cultural. You cannot.
La tontine. La tontine, that. La tontine, it's microfinancing between people without using benefit. So, Professor Sharma, la tontine is you put amount of money, I put the same amount of money.
I read a book about it.
How it is called in English? Okay, but you understand. So, okay, so specificities, and we have to instantiate and generate.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Karim. Very pertinent. Yes. Pause. I'm going now to go back to Professor Sharma and then address the question that was raised by Iman.
Iman, I was talking to two students this morning, the two students who asked questions in the morning session, and I was simply telling them, you give me hope. I would start by saying questions like Iman's, all of these questions come from PhD students, give me hope because I honestly believe that you're smarter than my generation. But you are also ethical, thoughtful, mindful. A lot of that reality is not captured in the current conversation among professors, institutions, policies, and pedagogies. The pedagogies now are based on this stupid assumption, yes, it's very dumb, that just because students can plagiarize, they will plagiarize. Just because I can steal at the local market doesn't mean I steal, do I? How different are my students, my children? Am I not as respectable and honest as I am? Where is this premise coming from? This assumption that students will cheat because they can? No, students cheat because they want to, because they have to, because the system is broken, because the teacher is not teaching well. These are also other variables. The fact that students can cheat because they can is only one variable. So let's keep that in mind. And therefore, number two, the faculty, the policy, the administration is responsible to number one, trust. Number two, teach. Number three, develop resources and materials. Number four, rethink the current policies so that we are moving in the direction of trust. Trust is the most powerful teaching tool. Trust between teachers and students should not be poisoned by Turnitin, ChatGPT 0. If you continue to do that, you're going to use the excuse of a technology created somewhere else in the interest of somebody else to redefine what it means to be a teacher and a student. Look at the relationship that we have in the Global South in particular between teachers and students. It's built on amazing amount of trust, respect, community, connection, network. It's not based on greed, selfishness, stealing, lying, dishonesty. It's not. But then when the technology comes in, it comes in with a premise. So I want to go back to question number one, which you said, we need to run faster, otherwise it's unethical. No, the premise of your question is faster is better. Faster is better in what? Airplane maybe? But when you're running, slow down. You may fall. In cars, faster was not better. In 1939 to 49 to 59 to 89, 50,000 Americans died on the road. The people that were developing factory cars were not the heroes. You know who the heroes were? The Luddites, who asked the question of safety, who asked the question of people's well-being. There are 2,000 safety features in cars today, not because of the mechanical engineer who want to make the car faster, but because of all the people in society, the economists, the politicians, the health scientists, the doctors, the mothers, the parents, who wanted to ask the question of, does this need to be this fast? So please, slow down. We need to build stronger houses. Faster is not better. The premise is wrong. The question is right. The assumption is wrong. To all the computer scientists who are asking, do we need to ask the philosophical question? Yeah, because they're human. So, again, let me summarize. Let us trust our students, their intelligence, their need. They are the ones whose education we are here for. It's not for us. We've enjoyed a long and successful life. Let us not start by saying, oh, he's honest, he's a liar, he's a cheat. No. Let's ask them. I surveyed my students in my university, and half of the students in formal surveys said that the professor accused them without evidence. So what I did, as the AI advisor to the Senate Technology Committee. I proposed a resolution, the resolution passed, it went to the Senate, and then from the Senate, now, as of now, it has gone to the Provost's office. In fall, the Provost will send a special email to the faculty members to say, this is your responsibility. You cannot accuse your students without evidence. We need to set those guardrails, otherwise the professors will be the culprits, not the students.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shyam. I hope that answers the question.
Just partly.
Yes.
How can we protect ourselves?
How can we as people or as researchers or?
As researchers.
Researchers.
How can I protect my
I'll try
ideas?
to-
No, excuse me. Think about it. So now I'm going to give the floor to the fourth question about spatiality. I think it was a very, very relevant question, and geography and spatiality, and then move to Nabil.
Thank you very much. Just a question.
Okay, so what ethical frameworks should guide the use of AI in urban planning policies so we don't exacerbate inequalities, spatial inequalities, and like the lack of, for the vulnerable communities? How can we, since you're a startup, and I know your mind is on solutions and providing solutions, in your opinion, what is the ethical framework that we can use? Since we can use AI in, I think in the few years we'll be using AI in all the government policies. So one of the major policy is the urban planning policy because it's political, it's social, it has multidisciplinary sides.
Okay. Thank you. It's a very important question. Yes, it's very specific. So I'm gonna put the context and then try to converge to answer this question. So first, I'm someone who doesn't define frameworks. I don't like frameworks. I use frameworks, don't like them a lot. Because frameworks are shortcuts that are derived from a system of beliefs and some resources and capabilities, and then some experts sit down and decide this will be good to be a framework. And as Professor Baina said just before, it depends on the localization. It will change if we are here or there. So it will be very specific and localized question. It depends on the situation where we are. So just to frame the question in a system I can better understand. I like orthogonal systems. So we have AI and we have ethics. So first we need to know what we are talking about. What is AI? What are ethics? I'm not gonna dive into details, but we have to distinguish between AI as it is today, AI as it was before, and AI as it will be tomorrow. So it's evolving, it's exponentially fast evolving, and so must be our system and our framework. They should evolve with the maturity of AI that is available at a time. And what about ethics? There are a lot of sorts of and systems of ethics. We can be in deontology with fixed rules and principles, etc. We can be in a system like platonic values, etc. virtue. We can also be very consequentialist and see the results and the outputs and only believe in what are the causal effects and hierarchies that are out there. So it will depend. So I'm not here to say you need either all this, but what I think scientists and policymakers should use, in my point of view, is to be more objective. This means use theories and facts that are falsifiable, that are testable, and that are scientific. And in this sense, I would tackle the ethical
in an hybrid manner. A part of the ontology where we preserve our core values for things that we cannot model scientifically, but this should be very limited in the core of our humanity. But the rest, the details of the policies, how we do this or that, should be based on the consequences, on scenarization, and on understanding via scientific models what are the impacts. So thinking this way, what are the impacts on the students and on the scholars and on the education system if we link this AI with this way of seeing ethics? So here AI will grow exponentially. We are tempted to use it to produce more value and more content. And for me, this is not an issue, provided you are enough responsible and are enough accountable enough to justify and to hear every word you say or you convey or you share with others. So in this sense, this is a very interesting subject, and I will try to converge quickly. So to go toward the question, how can we use it in the benefits of inclusion and a good spatial repartition? So here AI is evolving and AI is localizable. It means we have models to understand Arabic that are trained on social media with Arabic people. There are other models that will be built on more specific problems. And it's like that we can develop locally by adopting and building and triggering the development of local AI that will be tailored to our needs and, more importantly, to our goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabil, for this. It's very interesting how positionality gives us different kind of perspective. I liked how he started. I don't like frameworks. That would be something total offense if we had a policymaker sitting in front of us. And I hope that we, as researchers, also have our own positionality about this kind of things. You use frameworks. Yeah. But you don't like them. No, that's what I mean. I mean, you don't like them. But other people like them and use them as well. Now I'm going to go back to the audience, and then normally you ask us. Now I'm going to ask you, and then see what are your opinions about this question. Do you think? I mean, the question is over there. Do you think that we, as educational institutions, universities, programs, faculties, are we basically training students? It could be your part of we in general as society. Are we training students to critically understand and use ethical ethics, like to use the ethical ecosystem of AI, or are we just training you, or are we training our children or our students to just use it? At what stage are we, or what do you think we are right now? At what stage? Are we just at the stage of introducing those tools and encouraging people that we have to fight this AI illiteracy? Or are we training you on using it critically? If you cannot think of it as a general endeavor, think of it as something we have been doing since yesterday. Just in this context of this summer spring school. Do you think that so far, what you have been attending since yesterday was just like an initiative to use different kinds of tools? Or are you also being introduced to think about it critically? So the floor is yours now. I have Anya, she's going to distribute the... is your name on this list?
Yeah.
Are you going to ask the question that you put? Are you going to answer this one?
I can answer.
No, not can. You have to answer this one. Don't ask anything.
No, I'm not going to answer according to...
Answer. Go ahead.
My name is Maha, and I'm from the Campus Maroc, and I'm a first-year doctoral student. So the answer to this question, I'm going to answer from like the perspective of a student who has gone through modules as a PhD student, as well as a person who has the privilege of assisting the 2 days, inshallah, the third day as well. So for the modules that we have all gone through from the main, I think that rather than equipping people, we are threatening students. This is what a lot of people here gone through. We were threatened into not using AI. But at the same time, we had like this paradoxical, let's say, dilemma in the sense that we were judged as if we use AI, yet we were actually deprecated if we use AI. So the teachers, the professors, AI, also detectors, they told us don't use AI, yet we are judged as we use AI. So if anything, we were never trained to be equipped with these tools, these let's say strategies to use AI. We were threatened into not using AI, either directly or indirectly. Indirectly could be like, oh, in the future your academic reputation would be smeared if you ever use AI, things like that. Now, from the perspective of a person who had the privilege of assisting the 2 days so far, I think that we were able to be introduced to tools, right? But what I liked about each and every professor is that they delegated the responsibility to us, because let's be honest, we are adults. They said, okay, here are the tools, and it's up to you to know how to use them. And that's right. I don't think that professors and systems in the government should teach us how to use them responsibly. And as you said before, integrity is a human trait. I'm not going, you can teach in ethics, and it's up to me to be honest, to be someone who follows integrity. So I think being critical or not is a human trait. But knowing the tools is what was interesting about this spring school so far. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Shyam. You raised something that I always think about. Like I keep telling my students, I teach advanced writing and don't use AI, but at the same time I use AI, and it's because it's so unfair. So something has to be changed. I don't know. We're looking at it. Thank you very much. Humanity.
My answer to your question, Professor, is neither. We're neither trained nor are we critically using it. Why? Why am I saying this? Because we're informed of the AI tools. So there is this, and there is this, and there is this, but we're never trained in how to use it. But my worry, personally, doesn't go to us doctoral students, because I think by the time you've gotten to this level, you already have a critical mind, and you can already, make the right and wrong decision, or choose to you make the choice of doing the wrong decision. My worry goes to undergrad students. My worry goes to primary and middle school students. That's where my worry goes, because I have a younger brother and I've also taught at the university. And when I compare my level to their level, with all due respect and with no modesty, I'm way better than they were. And why am I a lot better? Because they have AI and I didn't have AI. And it's like they're so dependent of the AI tools that they can no longer produce something of their own. And honestly, at this point, perhaps it's already late. We need to teach students, perhaps from primary school at this point, how to use AI and how to use it ethically, and also how not to depend on it. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Iman. Yes, go ahead. Briefly introduce yourself and question.
Morning all. My name is Shyam. My name is Shyam. I'm a third-year doctoral student and project professor at University. This question I've already thought of it before, and my answer is going hand in hand with what my friend Maha said. So, can you allow me to answer don't you think that supervisors also need to be trained to direct supervisors to the right use of AI in research? Thank you.
Thank you very much for this very provocative question. Yes, please.
I think you point to speak up. Okay, so my name is Abdelaziz, and I'm a student here at the Faculty of Education Science. And my answer to the question, I think, is a no. So we're not equipping them with, I think that the question, sorry?
With the critical thinking.
Yeah, exactly. So the question, I think, it's similar to asking about, when calculators were introduced around some time, then there was this question on whether we still need mathematicians, but obviously we do. So we still need mathematicians. So although we still have these AI models, I think we still need people to either improve or to either refine these models. So I think every period has its own idiosyncrasies, and this period's idiosyncrasy, this period's specificity is with the AI models. And I think that we need, of course, generations who need to be more intellectual than us to improve and refine these AI models.
Thank you very much for your answer. Do we still have anyone to answer the question before we move on to the second round of questions? No? All right, thank you. Now I'm going to give the floor to Leila, Maha, Shyam, Hanan, and Mohammed to ask the questions to the panel now. So let's start with Leila. Sorry.
Thank you for this cultural celebration. By the way, I apologize for my pronunciation. My question is about the opportunities offered by artificial intelligence and the concern for research integrity, ethics concern. Donc, don't you think?
Thought that we need comments on comments.
One answer. No, because these were answers, okay? They were already answers, so we don't need to comment on them. Let's take now questions that you can answer on.
So my question is about the opportunities offered by artificial intelligence and the concern for research integrity, ethics concern. Don't you think, Professor, that AI should be included in any scientific research where it's involved as a variable to be taken into consideration, identifying which tool for which task, and even considering the prompt effects as an intermediate variable? Thank you.
Thank you, and then Maha.
So my question is quite similar to hers, in the sense that I would like to know about the academic reputations that students will have upon using AI. Because we say, okay, you can use AI, it's okay to use AI, and then once you go to Turnitin or like GPT-0 and you find someone flagged as a user of AI, how would you, I'm asking as a professor, would you say, oh yeah, this person is a critical person, I know that he used AI critically, or would you actually look at him in a different way? Well, I'm asking you as a professor because a lot of people say, it's okay. Nowadays we are trying to embrace AI, etc. But at the same time, how as a professor would you feel if you know that your student is using AI?
Thank you, and then Shyam.
My question is, what role can collaboration between researchers, policymakers, and industry leaders play in shaping the development and deployment of AI in a responsible manner? How can this collaboration succeed?
Triangular, right?
Yeah.
Triangular. Okay, great. And then Hannah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this amazing event as a whole. I mean, I have nothing to say. My question is both technical and human. Okay, so we've been talking about AI and we've been talking about cosmology, about power dynamics in a way or another. My question is about AI bias. Now you see, you ask AI a question, let's say, who is the richest man or the richest man in history? Now the answer is Elon Musk, right? Bill Gates. Honestly, the richest man in history recorded is Mansa Musa, the Mali king who had a fortune of I don't know how many $1 trillion. But you can't find that unless you actually look, all right? I don't know, you ask it to give you an article about, let's say, critical thinking. All the names you find are David, George, you don't find, I don't know, Zohri, you don't find Corey, you don't find Butter. It's not because they did not actually contribute, but somehow there's something wrong. So technically, is there a way to filter, okay, that to make AI, okay, let's say inclusive, technically speaking, so that when I ask it a question, it would give me an answer from multiple perspectives, okay? And also, can we say, for real, given all that the empire is sun has set? Or is it intellectually speaking? Okay, so the sun of the empire is back, okay, so the sun is set, okay, because we say that the sun is the sunset for the empire, but is that real, okay, intellectually speaking? There are so many examples about how the narrative is being controlled, okay, either we want it or not. So is it true that, maybe we're too lazy, that's why we don't have, okay, a representative, or that the alternative, the mainstream narrative is actually controlling what is to be known and what is not to be known? Thank you.
Thank you, and then finally, Mohammed. Yes, it's over there. Introduce yourselves.
So, hello everyone. First, I am Campus Maroc. I am a third-year PhD student in management science. I would like to thank Professor Herat, Professor Badr, for this great opportunity or information sharing during these 3 days. I would like also to thank all the intervenants for their insightful and sharp view. So, my question goes to all the panelists. I have 2 questions. First, based on your knowledge and your expertise, in which stage of AI are we? In the weak AI, the strong AI, or the super AI? And at present, is there any Moroccan legislative texts or even rules, official reports that guides the use of AI in academic or professional context? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Mohammed, for these 2 pertinent questions. So now we're going back to the panel, and then we start again with Nabil, and then see Baina, and then see Zohri, and then see Sharma, Professor Sharma. I'm going to give the floor to each one of you for 5 minutes. So let's start with Sinan.
Thank you very much. 5 minutes is short, so I'm gonna just send the message directly. You talked before about training. We are not trained. We are not this, not that. You have ChatGPT, right? You have YouTube. So please stop complaining. You can learn everything yourself. I think nowadays knowledge is not given by the professors. You have to seek your own knowledge. Check the sources, find things, read books, learn, practice, I don't know. But this is not an excuse. We are not aware about the ethical limitations of UNESCO or I don't know what. This also, you have to look at what works for you, at what produces value for you. You have to know that policies are one step behind AI. So if you follow the policies blindly, you are not using AI right. So just be pragmatic. And pragmatic means that you should reach your goals, long-term goals, not just short-term goals. Maybe short-term goals is to apply better and have your PhD, etc. but I believe strongly that you cannot produce a higher value at your own level using AI. The proof is simple. Supposing AI gives you an answer. If you are not able to challenge it, to understand it, to frame it, to build it in an architecture, then you cannot know if the answer is correct, if it's hallucination-free, if it enters in the known frameworks, etc. So, in this sense, you have to develop your own level. And I still have time.
Yes.
You're always needed like that. Your own level by your variables. I'm gonna maybe send some messages for the other question. So it was about
inclusiveness with AI, the way you coach AI to more.
yes, yes. So we have to build our AI. This is the only way. If you are counting on Elon Musk or Trump to build the AI that will include you, that will work for us, it will never gonna work. It's sovereignty in its widest sense. The sovereignty of the language, of the terms, of the content, of the formulation, of the intention, and I don't know what is built inside the model. Nobody can explain the models, nobody can see what's in the models, and so we have to build our models. But even though we build our models, we have to align them. And to align them, we need experts in multiple fields, in ethics, in the business for which it was built, and we have to make a lot of tests, and then to include a kind of reinforcement learning inside the model. So this is expertise we need to build. But this is a huge topic. Are we gonna build models? What are the shits, etc. So, do I still have time? I'm not joking with the timer. It's very strict. So I really don't have time. So I will take just to conclude 30 seconds. So I believe you have to take your own destiny. You have to be self-learners, you have to see the diversity, and to interact with your professors on things that you cannot get directly through AI. Not information, but rather experiments, human aspects, how they work, what are their thinking, their gesture, their cues, etc. This is more valuable information than this. Thank you very much.
I have to make 5 minutes.
Merci, professor. There is some noise. So I've heard some fears. I've heard that you are threatened, you are judged if you use AI. You think you will be deprecated if you use AI. I think you need to go beyond your fears. And to go beyond your fears, you have to do some reflexive analysis of your fears. You have to understand your fears. The fear to be manipulated, the fear to be replaced, the fear not to be enhanced thanks to AI. So there are some dilemma, either to be innovative and to be enhanced, and so you need to lose control, or you have to take control, not to be replaced, not to be manipulated. What to do? So you need to find some balance. You should take control. Professor Sharma told you yesterday, if you are not expert in some domain, don't use AI in this domain. You have to be critical. You have to understand what kind of results AI will give you to be able to criticize results and to do some rich exchanges with AI, not to just use and consume passively. You have the fear to be dependent. So do not be dependent. Read books. Challenge AI tools between each other. The sovereignty and the digital sovereignty will not be given by some government or by some tool. The sovereignty has to be constructed. Look, for example, in economic sovereignty in Morocco. We deal with all actors. We deal with Eastern actors, Western actors, Northern actors. We diversify our sources in economy, that we can diversify our sources in knowledge too. And we can diversify our sources from digital world, but from analogical world, from books, from ancient knowledge too. Not to be replaced, push you to go beyond automated skills. You need to have soft skills. The creativity is not human. Is not only human. Creativity is now done by AI. So what is our singularity? Our singularity is empathy. Our singularity is our humanism. Our singularity is our freedom of expression, our freedom of critical sense. And so you need to come back to our humanity, not to be replaced. And believe me, many societies are using GPTs, etc., for all repetitive tasks. But when we deal with decision making, when we deal with strategical thinking, we go back to human. Now innovation is done by AI. In NVIDIA, all their hardware are thought by AI. Okay, but we need to go beyond automated creation we need to train ourselves not to be replaced by AI. So we know we need to know what is feasible. We need to unlock our potentialities thanks to AI. L'université ne doit pas vous donner le biberon technologique. University role is not to give you the baby bottle of technology. You need to train yourself. You have the responsibility to train yourself. La chambre d'écho, bias, the highest risk in EU AI Act is manipulation. And il y a les chambres d'écho, echo chamber. When we publish something on Facebook, your post will be just shared with some very small community. So the web is modeled as islands. So when you write some post, it will be seen but just one island. So we need to use many tools to go out of those islands. No word is innocent, no discourse is innocent. Of course, every narrative is not innocent. We need to criticize every narrative.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to share with you that I'm about to publish a research paper. The title of the research paper is Education Complexity in AI. ChatGPT is pushing schools to look for motifs. And in this paper, what I have found is that students have already embraced AI. So when you say professors ask us not to use AI, I think a lot of students, most students have already embraced AI, they are using it. and they're not going to tell their professor that they're using AI. And the point is, it's very, very hard now for university to raise flags about what is AI and what is not AI. It is really complex, it's difficult. Even if they say they're using software, it's going to be very hard. So we go back to what we call self-regulation. And self-regulation is about building your own integrity. But I disagree with people who say that it's students who should do this. Why? Because students cannot inform themselves about everything. So everyone should take responsibility. When I say everyone, every stakeholder in the ecosystem. The university should take responsibility, and we have an example. In Germany, they have the code, the framework of ethics in Germany. They have something called ombudsperson. I'm not sure if I said this right. What is an ombudsperson? An ombudsperson is serving researchers, be it teachers or professors or students, or anyone who wants to do research with the university, trying to advise them when they have dilemmas. Because students may have dilemmas even if they are doing their best to learn. So don't tell students, it's up to you to teach yourself. Yes, it's up to you to teach yourself. Be autonomous, be independent, go find the answers, but the university has a role to play. One of the roles in terms of integrity and ethics is that universities should inform students. Universities should inform professors and researchers. Journals do inform public researchers who want to publish. They do. So try to find out what practices raise flags. I want to make a difference between, and I think that we need to understand this. We have to make a difference between when we talk about integrity of ethics. QRPs. QRPs are questionable research practices. And FFE. SFEs are fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. It is very important to make this distinction. Why? When we talk about opportunities, someone talks about opportunity concerns for ethics. If you talk about opportunities, of course AI offers us myriad opportunities. Good ones, positive ones. Use them, embrace them. But there are opportunities that raise flags about QRPs. If we're talking about QRPs are non-high profile, minor misconduct. Most of times, QRPs are due to lack of education. When you are not informed, you may make some mistakes. Or you make mistakes intentionally or unintentionally. Like, for example, when we talk about harking. Harking is you create your hypotheses after you get the results. While in research, you should create your hypothesis before you collect the data, yes? So there are a lot of researchers who do this, and this is not considered a major misconduct. So you need to educate yourself, teach yourself about the QRPs. If you are trying to use opportunities that relate to FFPs, you need to question your system of values. And you need to build a very strong system of values. When it comes to bias, I have some answers in the presentation I'm going to give today. I'm not going to give all the answer, but partially speaking, we are supposed to know before we are faced with the bias. If we don't know, we are going to take it as it is, because we don't know. But if we know, you said, for example, that when we ask a question, it gives us an answer. So if you don't know that this answer is biased, you can't ask ChatGPT or whoever it is, whatever it is, that there is some bias. When you ask ChatGPT, you tell there is some bias. Of course, ChatGPT tells you, I'm so sorry, there is a bias. I failed to mention this gentleman for this stage. And the bias, by the way, are not the only victim. The study is not the only victim. So there are many people who have been overshadowed, and are still overshadowed by AI, even if they are in the West. I'll give you one example, I don't have name, but there is a lady, I forgot the name, but there is a lady who did a lot of research in cosmology. You will never find her name, but you will find the name of Stephen Hawking. Simply because, probably, well, that's not the answer. The answer is, well, there is an answer, I may share it later. Thank you very much.
In my last question, I was addressing the system, introducing faculty policies, programs, and my university, I'm working on the system side a lot. I spend a lot of time building the structured policies, studies, grants, curriculum. We work on that side. So I want to hold ourselves accountable. But that doesn't mean that you can just accuse the professors of not running fast enough, of not creating the best training materials or teaching materials, courses, curriculum, training. What is this? The 3 days, I have never seen in another part of the world a wonderful thing like the spring doctoral school. 3 days of intensive training on an emerging topic, focusing on research. I haven't seen this in America, you guys are lucky. So I want to say, maybe this question of whether we are helping students to reflect or just simply use AI may be a little too early. We'll get to this wonderful question at the end of tomorrow. So we'll see again what you say. But I want you to hold yourself accountable as well. Here's why I say that. I want to focus on the question Maha asked earlier and the question Maha asked again. The question is, yeah, integrity is inherent in people, but you can't protect ourselves. And how do we protect ourselves? The question is, I would like to take you to a few things. One is when you're asking questions, be careful about the premise. If you say, what are professors going to do if they find out I use AI? The premise is, all use of AI is black and white. No, how did you use it? Yeah. One answer is be transparent, tell them exactly how you used it, then the professor can tell you whether it was right or not. So the premise cannot be black and white. PhD means Doctor of Philosophy. Whether you study math, computer science, or medicine, you are a philosopher. If you say, no, I'm not going to worry about the perspectives and the framework and the philosophy, that's for some guy in the English department or philosophy department, stop. Go back somewhere. You are here in a place where you're becoming a philosopher for your discipline and for your society. You're asking the hard question, you're finding the variables, you're looking at the wickedness of the problem, you're looking at the complexity and entanglement of the problem. So stop asking black and white questions, please. Stop asking black and white questions that do not simply ask questions like, what is the context? Who is the audience? What is the media with which I'm working? What is the purpose? Who, when, where, why, how, and whose? Whose interest is the survey? Where is the money? If you do not ask the questions of ethics, economics, politics, philosophy, history, culture, knowledge, then you're not being a doctor of philosophy. You're simply trying to be a technician. A bachelor degree would be enough for you. Please, stop asking black and white questions, or questions that have a premise, that we should be running fast as possible. With who? On whose terms? In what direction? Why? And how? Please start breaking down, especially becoming reflective. What are the premises of my question? What are the assumptions of my question? What are the prejudices that I'm holding? If I say, for example, all frameworks are harmful, yeah, they are. But all frameworks are, can I also say all frameworks are necessary? Yeah, they are. All frameworks are necessarily behind rapidly moving technology. Yeah, they are. So we can't take one premise and run with it. What about 3 different premises? What about 3 different perspectives? What about 5 different variables? What about the entangledness of the problem? And to your question of how do we protect ourselves? It is complex. One, you can protect yourself by advocating with your faculty and saying, please stop, these policies are hurting us. Second, you can protect yourself by knowing and testing, exploring, and finding your own boundaries. Third, you can protect yourself by maybe helping to create and push the system in a direction. Don't say I'm powerless. Don't say I accept everything that is created by Elon Musk. You are at the level of raising questions, awareness, pushing policies, creating new knowledge, and contributing to society. So you can't sit here and say, just because my last comment was, we need to hold the professors and the systems accountable, it doesn't give you a blank check. We will throw the question right back at you. How did you use the AI? Why are you asking that question with a silly premise? Why are you not reflecting on what you're saying? What are your prejudices? So, it's a two-way traffic. This game is not played by professors alone, or you alone. So professors should not be accusing students, but students should not be asking silly, black and white questions with a lot of problematic premises and prejudices.
Perfect timing.
you very much. Thank you. This is wonderful. A lot of great ideas put together. I think we come up with like an manual of ethical AI use. We could have done it if we collected all those ideas. Just briefly, for the past few months I've been working for the European University in Baina on developing a manual for AI use. And after a lot of time, it's collaborative work with myself and other colleagues at the University in Vienna. So we wanted to develop something very measurable that I tell students, okay, you are allowed to use AI to this extent at this stage. So we identified those 13 stages in the research, as you can see, from preliminary exploratory scoping of the topic identification, literature review, research question, research design, ethics and permission, data collection, data analysis, synthesis, writing the study, revision and feedback, presentation and defense and dissemination, and publication. And then we have set up like to what extent AI could be intervened at what stage. Of course, this is like after collecting data, interviewing a lot of things, and just like sharing with you, and then we put like this stage, AI should not be used at all, or it could be used completely, 100%. Now we had the oh, I don't have it here. I should have, but it's not my laptop. I wanted to share with you the explanation that we gave to students, and they have to mention in their dissertation at the end that at this stage AI was used to this extent, and at this stage, and as just Professor Sharma just mentioned, yeah, it is partially your responsibility and disclaim when, how, and to what extent AI was used. And this is what I think we, all of us, faculty members, students, and administrators need to be trained on. Not only tell people, oh, it should be used ethically or responsibly, but how? Like, in terms of operationalization of ethics, how can we and to what extent? Anyways, thank you very much for this wonderful session. And join me please to thank also the panelists for the session.